Hey everybody, welcome to Shifty's Club. Today I'm going to talk about just exactly what I promised in the last episode. Basically, I'm not going to take too long getting to this video. What's gonna happen is I'm basically just going to talk about the how to build rogue decks and parties and turn them into tier 1. Today I'm going to do the trading card game. I'm not going to make this a run-on, so it's going to be very short and very to the point. Not saying it's going to be a minute or two. It's going to be about 10-15 minutes. Not too long. Maybe it should be around 10. Okay, here we go. Now, last episode I explained how you need to be able to understand what every card does in the metagame, or basically every card in format. If you know what every card in format does, you're in good hands. Because you need to be ready for any combo, such as you see a Audition play, you're going to be expecting a Vileplume. Not Blossom, but Vileplume. Now they might run Blossom, but chances are they're going to use Vileplume instead. And you're going to be looking for a trainer lock deck. Therefore you need to be playing your trainers now, or setting up to a way to avoid having to play so many trainers for the rest of the game. And for that to happen, you need to find all your heavy support line and find them into your hand, or waste all your trainers that you can and get them out of the way. And that's basically how you run the game. Because and like I said, if you see Yanma, expect the Omega Prime. But if you see a Magnemite and a Yanma, be ready for the the Mega Zone combo, which is Omega Prime Magna Zone, and you're going to be expecting a lock all game. And they'll basically judge you and then use Magna Prime's draw and get the cards back and basically just play around you the whole game. Now, that being said, being able to understand what every card does and all the possible combos and what the unique combos are, plus what decks you should be worried about. Like if you see some random, like say Roserade and like Sunflora and crap, and you don't see an Eevee the whole game, don't worry about it, because they obviously don't know what they're doing. Now if it was Roselia and you see an Eevee too, yeah, worry, because it's going to be the Leaf Eevee Raid combo, which is probably the most deadly combo right now, but no one really cares about it because no one wants to test it. They think my line is too weird. That's basically the thing. Get to know every combo, how they work, and basically how to get around them. And the way you do that is know what every card does, so you be prepared for it. Now, how do you build the rogue decks? First off, your deck needs to do either of the following. It needs to donk, lock, or it can disrupt. But also, some decks can hit heavy, but most decks that hit heavy are metagame. But not saying all of them don't, because of course you got Pokemon like Executor, hits heavy if you flip enough coins. Audino, if you flip coins. Sudowoodo doesn't require coin flips. Just those Pokemon in general are Pokemon that hit heavy, but they're usually energy acceleration Pokemon are the ones that hit heavy. Not all of them, just a majority of them. Now, again, they either need a donk, lock, or disrupt, and sometimes hit heavy. Now, out of those 4 options, you need to be able to do at least one to create a constructive rogue deck, and this way you can turn it into tier 1. Now, to find a combo, you need to look at Pokemon that seemingly do well, that no one else really pays attention to. Like, say you seen say you looked at Electrode Prime. No one plays it. Its value is $1. Well, actually, its real value is $2.50 or $2.49 according to the websites. But you look at Electrode, you like its, you like what it does. It's an energy acceleration combo. Therefore, you'd want it to go with an energy acceleration Pokemon, such as Executor, Audino, Sudowoodo. Any Pokemon that abuses energy would be perfect for Electrode. This can sometimes work with a good deck that I come up with as Speedgar. And very crazy, because this deck usually wins on turn 3. It's crazy, I know. well, not that it wins on turn 3, it wins on turn 4, but technically it wins on turn 3 because your opponent's not going to be able to knock you out of the game. Of course, the Deoxys Legend can't set up that fast, so basically what happens is you look at Electro Prime, you like what it does, so you're going to find energy acceleration combos to go with it. And through this, what we're going to do is we're going to find a Pokemon that goes through energy acceleration pretty good. Now, Sudowoodo, there's no coin flips, nothing involved. Now, there are fighting energy, so you're going to attach them all to Sudowoodo. Now, think of the good sides and the bad sides. Good side, Sudowoodo does a whole crap load of damage. Bad side is it gets knocked out, all this energy are going to the discard pile with the Electrode that's already been discarded. So, you can also look at Pokemon like a Lantern Prime. Lantern Prime does 40 damage plus 10 more for each energy attached to all the Pokemon in play. 1 lightning and 2 colorless, so it still works with Electrode too. So if you ever decide to use Electrode's attack, which you never will, you can also use it like Magnezone. Pokemon like that who spread the damage would be your best bets. Now sometimes Executor works and Audino works and Sudowoodo works, but say you wanted to hit heavy, well, and you looked at Electrode or you just looked at Electrode period and you said you want to make a combo with it, well, those are viable options. Now, say you looked at a Pokemon like Espeon Prime, you thought how many cool attacks it'd be to be able to pull off them all. Now, the best advice I'd give is look for unique combos or see what Pokemon can do. Espeon from Undaunted can basically take 4 damage counters from your side and move them to your opponent's side, up to 4 damage counters. And that's actually pretty good. No one really understands it. And Leafeon's the more understood combo, where you can use Eevee Raid and then have Espeon Prime up front attacking, and keep Leafeon on the bench so it'll be protected, and you can save it for the next turn if Espeon Prime gets knocked out. Whereas if you didn't, and you had Espeon Prime on the bench, or just Espeon Prime absent, then Leafeon would be doing absolutely nothing after it's discarded. So you get the point. All decks need to be somewhat understandable. Ross Cawthon, I can see his deck. I understand it. Now, most people tell me I'm crazy. I never could. I'm a rogue guy. I can understand any deck you throw at me if it makes sense. And his deck did. Basically, you move around damage counters, trainer lock, and your opponent's not going to be able to do anything the whole game because you got Secret Super Skill. You're going to be able to pull everything. Basically, you take these 160 HP tank into Suicune Legend, you're not going to be able to do a thing. I understand that combo. I've even understood some combos like Swanatoon it was a long time ago. It was it was before Nationals. That was basically my deck idea. I took it and it worked because when I used Spiritomb, Swanna retreated to activate the trainer lock. With the unknown Q, I can instantly switch back, use my trainers, and then switch it and keep the trainer lock going. Now, that works, but say you looked at another Pokemon like Blissey Prime. Blissey Prime works with almost everything. Wait a minute. I don't think so. Why? Because Blissey Prime discards all the energy after it removes the damage counters from all Pokemon with damage counters on them. So the ones with damage counters on them have the energy removed from them. So you would need Pokemon such as Kingdra Prime does 1 energy, does 60 damage. Hitting Heavy for low energy, or Disrupting for low energy, or Locking on the bench or up front for little energy. So these are all really good ideas that you can possibly do, and basically you really need to look at a card and don't ever misjudge what a card does, because I remember in 2 different cases. One, a guy thought Old Amber couldn't be damaged, period, and he forgot that he didn't read the word bench, so he lost every game because all he had was 4 Old Amber in his deck. Sat there and stalled out the game. Couldn't do anything. Was he wrong? Yeah. Now, there's a few competitive players. They claim to be good, but they're not. And the reason I know is because I've seen it with my own two eyes. Their record's pathetic. They've never done a thing in their life as far as Pokemon. So, and I know, don't judge me by my city's performance last year. I know, I'm doing a lot better. Judging by all my states and regionals performances, which are amazing. So what you want to do is you'd have Shiftry down, and you'd use Darkrai level X. And to him, he thought when you flip tails during your turn, what would happen is that he would flip tails twice, be knocked out. And he forgot that you don't flip for sleep during your turn. It's between turns, so therefore the effect doesn't take place. And that was a minor bump in the road. Basically, it's the same thing with burn conditions. He just thought flipping tails overall would be, and that basically cost him the tournament and stuff like that. But it's a crazy world. But I can go ahead and tell you right now that just make sure you know what every card and format does. Picture using the Pokemon that you want in battle and figure what it would fare against the metagame. And the metagame's a good ideal to test against, such as like Mega Prime, free retreat, free attack. Requires a Pokebody though. So you might want to defend against Mega Prime, and because of its Pokebody allows it to attack for free, you could do something about the Pokebody and it couldn't attack. A good Pokemon for that would be Umbreon from Undaunted. For 1 darkness, 30 damage, prevent all effects of attacks including damage done to Umbreon by your opponent's Pokemon, so Umbreon's safe from harm. But what about the Pokemon on the bench? So, what you have to do is devise a plan such as have no bench Pokemon, but therefore all I have to do is retreat to something such as like Cinccino, attach a DCE, you're screwed. The whole game's out. So trying to perfect against them one card isn't a good option. The whole metagame's ideal, such as like Mega Prime variants, such as like Megazone. Let's see, I don't know exactly what to call it. Mega Kingdra, Mega Magazone, Mega Kingdra, Mega Cinccino, Mega Zoroark, Mew Pluff Mega. It's Reshi, Boreshi, Flosion combos. All these decks are basically part of the metagame and they need to be taken care of when you're thinking of your deck. But don't rely too much on one card, because if you put too much emphasis on one card, you're going to kill yourself in the other matchups. And that's exactly what you don't want to do. Basically what you want to do is you want to take something like, say, Hypno. If you see a Drowsy, my first reaction is you're playing Hypno, and you're going to flip to put me to sleep, like I said in my last video. So, mix it up a little. Find something they wouldn't expect. Now, they'd probably be, once they see something else coming out like an Eevee, oh my god, it's Leafeon, and you're going to be doing the attack. Change it up a bit. Put them to sleep, and then use like Umbreon. Now, if it's a Mega Prime, it's a 50-50 shot. But of course it was a 50-50 shot with a coin flip, so pretty much you wouldn't really consider the option. But Leafeon would be a good guess. But again, we have Roserade, who we can attach a Rainbow to into 100. Crazy enough. Now, I know you hate hearing me say this over and over, but it's basically knowing every card and format, what it does, and you'll be in good hands. And before I go, I want to mention the do's again. Find a deck that either donks, locks, disrupts, or hits heavy. You can base this off of a particular card and look for a unique combo or look for consistency. Now, either one of these will give you a good game. And like I said before, a combo would be following one move up to make another move better. Or you can make one move and then use something else to keep it going. Whereas if it were on its own, it wouldn't keep going, it would take a while. That sort of thing. So, like I said, try to get to know the metagame and try to get to know all the cards in format, and pretty much find the cards that you want to play with. Not saying just throw any random cards into a deck, but find the one card you're particular with, or a card that you feel is probably the best card, or a card that you really want to try to test with. And that card could be pretty much exactly probably the best card in your deck. Not going to say for certain, but you need to be able to test okay with the deck. I'm not saying put a junk deck together and then go to states and expect to win. I do expect you to test if you were trying to put a deck together and expect to win. So, as I said, just make sure you put a deck together with all the requirements. It's got to be one of the 4 types of decks and one of the 2 combo consistency that raise the deck into a winning potential. In next episode, I will be talking, well, for the video game players, they'll get the episode 2, but for the trading card game players, I'm gonna tell you how to keep the combos going or keep consistency going with any type of deck you get next time. Shift these gloves.